Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the 2022 IAB NewFronts. My name is David Cohen. I am the CEO of IAB, and I'm standing here at Pier 57 at Google's Horizon Hall, and I could not be more excited to welcome you all to the NewFronts this year. After 2 years of virtual presentations, we are back in real life, and I'm sure this week will be both inspirational and informational. We couldn't be more thankful and more optimistic about the breadth and depth of presentations across content, insights, and technology. For the past 2 years, we have seen that digital ecosystem solidify its place as our societal lifeline. It has kept us informed, it has kept us entertained, it has kept us educated, and it has kept us connected. The role that digital content has played in our lives has accelerated to a point that it has redefined the landscape for all of us. The way that we thought about programming the NewFronts this year was to take all of the things that worked well over the past 2 years and provide a platform for presenters to take their offerings to an entirely new level. The 2022 IAB NewFronts, the experience is exactly what you want it to be: in person, live streamed, virtual, and on demand. It's your choice. For me, the NewFronts always offered a time to step back and reflect on what's changed over the past year and what new opportunities exist in the marketplace. This year will certainly not disappoint. We are thrilled to see NewFronts presenters like Condé Nast and the newly merged Dotdash Meredith return, along with Amazon, Roku, Peacock, and Samsung Ads. We are also thrilled to have every social media platform: TikTok, Twitter, Meta, Snapchat, and of course, our host for this morning, NewFronts co-founder, YouTube. On Wednesday, which is May 4th, the IAB Inclusion Institute will present a series of panels and minority-owned media presentations aimed at accelerating ad spend and addressing accountability in DEI, including within the creator economy. These are free presentation slots and chosen based on input from buyers and an invitation to submit presentation proposals. We are pleased to announce Blavity, Revolt Media, and Black Enterprise will be presenting this year. Invitations to attend the 2022 IAB NewFronts have been extended to a number of colleges and universities, as well as the coalition of small businesses that have joined our Internet for Growth effort over the past year. It is our hope that in participating in these sessions, these people will be inspired to either join our industry or continue to advocate for the entrepreneurialism that the free and open ad-supported internet affords us. Later this morning, Eric John, who leads our media center, will present important data that we're releasing around the video market. The shift to streaming is very real, and it's accelerating. A few data points from our research. In terms of advertising spend, we saw digital with incredible growth year over year. While 2020 saw 21% growth, 2021 saw a staggering 51% growth in digital video, according to our annual digital report with PwC. And most recently, according to our latest video research in partnership with Advertiser Perceptions and SMI, CTV specifically showed 57% growth, and the trajectory is very, very strong. We're predicting 39% CTV growth in 2022 as well. This year's NewFronts theme, Stream On, pays homage to the post-pandemic era that we are entering, in which consumers are choosing to stream just about everything. It's here, it's now, and it's our collective opportunity. Content is flourishing, and it has never been a better time to be a viewer or an advertiser. I think we can all agree that there is no shortage of streaming media opportunities today. Let's also agree that there is still much for us to do as we cement a unified video marketplace. Privacy, identity, addressability, measurement, and attribution, as well as improving the consumer ad experience, are just some of the things that you will hear about over the coming days. That is why we're devoting time this year on developing a CTV buyer-seller campaign checklist, a short list of pre-campaign friction points that allow buyers and sellers to talk about how to operationalize and collaborate for better measurement, better targeting, better creative, better frequency management in CTV. Additionally, over the next several days, you will hear some great thinking from our technology and measurement partners. The IAB is hard at work to reduce marketplace friction and continue to focus on standards in the industry. Key initiatives over the next year include releasing the Open Measurement SDK coming from IAB Tech Lab and our Cross-Media Measurement Initiative. This effort will focus on driving guidelines for counting audiences, ad delivery, ad engagement, and business outcomes consistently across video, including CTV and emerging channels. As we always say at IAB, we need your help. We need your help to drive industry progress. We need you to lean into a committee, a council, or a working group that you feel passionate about. We need your time, we need your expertise, and we need your passion to advance some of our most vexing challenges in the industry. Visit IAB.com or just reach out to find out how to get involved. Finally, we couldn't be more proud to be standing on this YouTube stage to kick things off for the week. As a founding member of the IAB NewFronts and now the principal partner for this year's NewFronts, YouTube has been with us on a decade-long journey to architect the streaming future. That future is here, and we couldn't be more excited to partner with them again to bring their content creators and community to the NewFronts audience. Enjoy the show, and join us daily for the rest of the week at the 2022 IAB NewFronts. Thank you very much.
Some of my favorite YouTube creators, Colin and Samir.
What was the vision around taking out this much space?
We want to create the ultimate video studio.
These guys make awesome videos, and they inspire me big time.
Why do you want to be the best YouTuber?
Ever since I was 13, I feel like it was programmed in me. That sounds weird.
You guys are very good at asking questions.
Thank you.
I hope you have a late night show.
Appreciate that. All right. Wow. I've always wanted to say this. Good morning, New York City. That felt pretty good. We're really excited to be here with all of you hosting the morning show.
Yeah, I want to welcome all of you to the studio here at Google's Pier 57, as well as welcome everyone at home on the live stream.
Okay, Colin, this is our very first morning show appearance.
We have to start it off right.
Yeah, lucky enough, we have a good crowd here to make this feel significant. Ready? Welcome. Now we got to do it at the same time.
Maybe Robin.
Yeah.
Could you come out?
Okay.
So we brought Robin out here. She's going to help us, and you all have to listen to her.
She's going to give you instructions. All right,
Okay.
ready? 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the NewFronts Morning Show.
There we go.
Amazing.
Thank you.
There it is. How about that?
Yeah. I'm Colin.
And I'm Samir. And as you saw from our intro video, we're YouTube creators that host a show called The Colin and Samir Show, where we interview other creators about their businesses and talk about the latest in the creator economy.
One of the biggest tech creators, Marquez Brownlee, referred to us as your favorite YouTuber's favorite YouTuber.
And one of our subscribers called us the ESPN of the creator economy.
And one of our most recent comments said, Colin, you look like a blueberry.
It's kind of a mixed bag on YouTube.
You don't know what you're going to get.
You don't know really what you're going to get.
Frankly, I don't see it.
That one actually feels accurate to me. But
I disagree.
Yeah. So we are just so glad to be here with YouTube and MediaLink to anchor the first ever NewFronts morning show and let you in on the latest news, insights, and tips streaming from the creator world.
And before we get into it, we're going to take you back about 10 years ago to 2012, where our journey began, and we promise we'll keep this story brief.
But we should probably sit down.
It is a morning show.
Yeah, let's take a seat.
Let's take advantage of the full set.
So when Colin and I first started out 10 years ago, like all entrepreneurs, we were dreamers. So we're going to do something here real quick with everyone in the crowd, as well as everyone who's watching from home. You can participate in this. So raise your hand if you've ever had a dream. Oh, wow, everyone.
Pretty good.
Amazing.
A lot of dreams out there.
Yeah.
Okay, now keep your hand raised if that dream involved entertainment of any kind, music, film, etc. Still a good amount of hands.
Yeah. Now keep your hand raised if you dreamt of working in sports.
Lost a good amount of hands. Okay. Keep that hand raised if that sport that you always dreamt of working in was lacrosse. Okay, we have a couple hands.
Okay. And we also have people watching from home. They
There
could
could
be
be
raising
many
their
hands
hands.
at
You have
home.
no
That's
idea.
true.
Yeah. Okay. Now, lastly, keep your hand raised if you ever wanted to start an online sports network dedicated to lacrosse.
Okay, apparently that's just our dream.
That was just us.
Yeah,
okay.
just us.
So that was our crazy idea 10 years ago. And lucky enough, we were just naive enough to actually do it. And this screenshot right here is actually from 10 years ago. But in 2012, I decided to take a 6-foot folding table, put it down in my bedroom, flip open my webcam, and start a channel called the Lacrosse Network. And this is actually a screenshot from May 2nd, 2012. So that's what YouTube looked like.
Now, at the time that Samir is filming lacrosse games and uploading them to YouTube in Los Angeles, I had just graduated from college in Colorado.
How about Colin's hair?
Thank you.
That was a good look for you, Cole.
I appreciate it.
Very blueberry-esque.
Maybe I'll bring it back.
Yeah.
So at the time, I had just graduated from college. I'm working at the front desk of a hotel, and in my free time, I'm filming the sport that I grew up playing. And the first video that I ever made about lacrosse, I uploaded it to YouTube. It had about 1,000 views. One of those views was from the president of an exciting, up-and-coming sports media network in Los Angeles, and he sent me an email. And in that email, it definitely did not sound like he was writing it from a 6-foot folding table in his bedroom.
Oh, that was me.
That was you.
That was me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I emailed Colin and convinced him to move to Los Angeles and work with me on building the Lacrosse Network. And although we were young and naive, YouTube was and still is the best place to find like-minded individuals. I mean, we found each other through the platform, but over the next couple of years, we were able to build a true community, a community of like-minded people who all love the same thing. And that led us from growing one channel all the way to 60 channels and hundreds of thousands of subscribers along the way.
And eventually, we ended up selling the Lacrosse Network to a sports media company here in New York City.
Also, that was our first video we ever made together. We had no idea what we were doing, but...
I think Samir pointed at me to speak, and I just gave a thumbs up.
Yeah, but we did sell the company, and that moment was a moment in time where we were able to turn our passion for storytelling into a reality. And YouTube was really the only place where we could have turned that crazy dream into a reality.
And after the company sold, over the next couple of years, Samir and I spent time working with top creators like Dude Perfect. And we learned how to turn YouTube channels into full-on media companies. And really just developed a passion for YouTube. And so we decided in 2016 to embark on a new journey covering the world of creators with the channel that we have now, Colin and Samir. And we essentially created the channel that we would have wanted when we first started out on YouTube. It's a place to learn about what this career truly means and to connect with other creators.
If you were all wondering, there is something in this cup, by the way. I wasn't faking it. But if you fast forward to today, we went from just us to now a team of 10. This is our team. We interview some of the biggest creators on the platform, like Marquez Brownlee, Mr. Beast, Lily Singh, and we don't operate like a YouTube channel. We operate like a media company. We have a diverse set of brand partners, and we're growing. We have a newsletter, a podcast. We sell merchandise, online courses, and we continue to expand.
And our journey is really representative of the creator economy as a whole right now. It's full of entrepreneurs who, like us, started out in their bedrooms, but are now moving into offices. They're hiring employees, and truly, they have sophisticated, multifaceted businesses now.
So for those of you who are unfamiliar with this term, creator economy, let's think about it this way. There's 50 million content creators, curators, and community builders all over the internet. But if we reframe that as 50 million businesses and founders, it feels different, right? And let's think about the impact that those founders are having, the global impact or economy that they're creating. They're finding ways to scale and monetize themselves.
And YouTube is the heart that powers the creator economy. And that's because the relationship that YouTube has with its creators is unlike any other. Throughout our 10 years, when YouTube grows, we grow. And it's unlike any other relationship. And I think because of that, right now, there's never been a more pronounced focus on the creator economy. That's why we're so excited about it and why we're here with YouTube and with MediaLink to help make sense of it all.
So reflecting on our journey has been amazing, and it's put us in front of all of you, the very people who are helping powering this massive economy of creators and dreamers. So today, as we get into the morning show, feels like we should probably tell you what you can expect.
Okay, so first up, Samir.
Yes,
we're going to hear from top industry experts about the state of streaming and how our creator communities and your advertising communities can work together to forecast a brighter future for the creator economy.
Forecast.
Morning news.
That's the first time I'm realizing that was a morning news joke.
Morning news.
That's
weather.
good.
Yes.
Next, it's a brand new day where we're going to hear from brands who are seeing the value of creator-led platforms.
And finally, you're going to hear from top creators themselves about how they're using YouTube to build businesses both on and off the internet.
And who knows? You might see us again, too.
I'll check the forecast, Samir, but 100% chance of seeing us again. I'll say that. 100% chance.
That was a bad joke.
Well, I can't promise it won't come back again.
All right. Well, this is it for us right now, so we should probably end strong. Robin?
Robin, if you could come out.
We go. Thank you so much, Robin. You did great the first time, and you guys all did great as well. Colin?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the NewFronts Morning Show.
Thank goodness we get to keep Robin.
Absolutely. Hello and good morning. I'm Michael Casson, the founder and CEO of MediaLink. Welcome to the IAB NewFronts.
And I'm Tara Wolpert-Levy, and I lead the Americas for YouTube.
We're so excited to be here in person, as David said, at Horizon Hall at Google's Pier 57. We had to get here a little earlier than the rest of you, so we've been here for several hours already. I feel like I know my way around the place. And it's great to have this airing live on the IAB live stream. As you know, the theme of this year's NewFronts is all around the streaming boom. And Tara and I are here today to unpack why creators are at the heart of it and how the rising creator economy is shaping the future. Tara, you've seen this firsthand. You led the ads business at Google and YouTube, and you know exactly what people in this room want and expect. Now that you're bringing that enterprise to lead this entire YouTube ecosystem, including creators, content, and partners, help me sort the role that content and creators are playing in the streaming boom. And what do you see that's exciting in this new role through your trained eye?
Thanks, Michael. Well, first of all, it is fantastic to be here with so many old friends. And it's also been great making new ones. I would say what I've loved most about the transition to the new role is really just getting much more time, much more depth, much more breadth of our creators and the stories that they tell and the communities that they influence. And I'll share one anecdote that might bring that to life. Just this past month, I hosted a breakfast with a number of female creators on YouTube who are all passionately sharing their stories and their journeys. And one that was sort of representative was the story of Molly Burke. Some of you might know Molly. She describes herself as a typical sushi and makeup-loving millennial girl who just also happens to be blind. And so Molly's story is amazing. She saw a gap on the platform where they really were not any disabled creators who were sharing more of their experiences. And so she started her own platform to do that. And now she reaches over 2 million people on her channels, and she shares with them across all aspects of her life. So from beauty tips to education to insights on the blind experience to things like hope and leadership and self-acceptance. And it was just incredibly moving to hear her talk about the authenticity and the depth of her relationship with her fans. And also, I don't think she would phrase it that way, but to me, wow, it sure looks like she sparked a movement when you look at the number of disabled creators on the platform. And having them share their stories and connecting those audiences in so many ways was incredibly inspiring. In part also for some tactical reasons, right? Because as they were talking about what they do, I realized I was listening more and more to the stories of the new hybrid creator, right? I mean, these people are masters at working their stories across every screen and across every format. So whether that's shorts or long form or live or now even audio, it's that breadth and depth of connection at the same time that I think is just fueling their growth and the creator economy that you talk about.
Well, and again, Tara, you bring such an interesting perspective to this. It's fascinating. Creators have always been searching for ways to make money without gatekeepers for a long time. In the early days of digital media, they wanted to turn this success into getting a TV deal. Now they don't need to do that. They can have success on the digital platforms and end up right back in the living room on that same glass surface that they had aspired to. Creators navigate what is right for them based on audience insights that they, together with all of us, collect in real time.
Like the Blueberry review.
Exactly, exactly. I recently saw TurboTax report a 207% increase in taxpayers. I could stop there because I experienced the same thing a few weeks ago. No, but,
I also wouldn't mind knowing who had TurboTax as a source for Michael Kasson in a NewFronts speech on their bingo card, but we might have to get to that later.
I did start my career as a tax lawyer.
You
so
did? Yeah, well,
there
fair
you go.
enough. So anyone who knows you well might actually have gone for that.
There you go. But a 207% increase in taxpayers calling themselves creators, streamers, influencers, or other related terms in their tax documents between 2018 and 2020, which is an amazing increase, 207%. But Tara, how do you think about sort of the thriving ecosystem and the balance that's supporting creators while looking after what's best for your business at the same time? You really are serving kind of two masters, for sure. Multiple masters.
Are we? I feel like you're always trying to create conflict, Michael. I mean, in all seriousness, I actually find it sort of surprising that people sometimes see that as a tension because, you heard Colin and Samir say that when YouTube grows, they grow. I think we have been very loud and very consistent that we believe passionately that when creators grow, we grow. And so, creators are really fundamentally at the heart of our ecosystem. And so if they're happy, we're happy. And when they're not, we are also not. But saying unhappy for a second, take Mr. Beast just as an example. Did you see the latest cover of Rolling Stone?
I did.
I mean...
And I was disappointed that I wasn't on it.
Well, bump up those YouTube subscribers.
Exactly.
We'll talk about it. But Mr. Beast is just a walking embodiment, I think, of the creator economy that we're talking about. He's built a $54 million business with a team of 60 that he built from the ground up. And it's fascinating because for all of the talk about the streaming boom and all of the explosion of providers that we see, do you know that if Mr. Beast's YouTube channel was its own streaming service, it would have more subscribers than the top 3 ad-supported services that have launched? Isn't that wild?
Crazy.
Crazy. And the thing that I think is amazing is that it's not only about reach, right? It's about storytelling and how to tap into a community and how to grow a business. And I think, again, his success or any creator's success is really what fuels YouTube's success. So we see our interests as fully aligned, and we're going to hear more about that from Collins and Cassie in our creator panel in a little bit.
Let's zoom out for a second, Tara, and get a sense of scale of their creator economy. According to a recent research study from UTA, yes, MediaLink is now a UTA company. I'm happy to say that. Applause, please. There you go. I'm insecure. I need the support, guys. Just bring it, please.
We needed to call for Robin.
Exactly. But literally, $18+ billion opportunity awaits brands that embrace this creator economy. When we put some thought into that, we boiled the creator economy down to 3 main kind of global areas of impact. First, the global economy at large, obviously. These creative entrepreneurs are stimulating millions of jobs for people who support their content creation and distribution. Next, society. Viewers can watch creator-made content to kind of learn skills, advance their careers, solves challenges like turning plastic water bottles into blue jeans. I did walk by a store yesterday that was promoting that. Third, and equally important, is culture. Creators find new audiences and turn audiences to find new ideas, cultures, passions, and brands. And if you really want to talk about culture, creators are voyaging into the full stream. The work they produce will be underpinned by Web3. Creator roles are growing. It's happening right before our eyes, for sure.
No doubt. And I love how you framed that. And it's interesting because they are for sure growing. And I think it also just speaks to the incredible, continued range of influence on our world. I mean, the upcycling example that you give is a good one and actually was the foundation of that breakfast I referenced. And I'll share just a couple of additional anecdotes, I guess, of creators that have really sort of moved me on that front in the past couple of months. I don't know who saw this past March the Ukrainian violinist, Ilya Bondarenko, who was playing from a bomb shelter between shellings and really rallied this community across all of Europe of other violinists who played along with him in a stream for raising money for humanitarian aid. It was just incredible. And similarly, there was the top gaming creator, Abaflash, who used his platform to raise $1 million for refugees in just over 24 hours in a very similar intent. But there's also a pretty wide range. I mean, not just driven by current events. Rap artists like Santa Fe Clan are incorporating sign language into their lyrics, right? Which is an incredible ability to improve representation in pop culture and to educate millions on the importance of audience inclusivity more broadly. So, and I guess I can't leave out Mr. Beast. We just talked about him, but nonetheless, he has used his platform to raise $20 million to plant 20 million trees through his Team Trees project. And then I don't know if it was an intentional rhyme or just happens, but he also followed with another initiative, Team Seas, in order to raise $30 million to protect our oceans. So I just think it really sort of drives home this idea that people always talk about wanting to do well by doing good, and that's kind of the dream. And I think the creators are just really leading the way on this, and it's an opportunity for all of us.
I've always thought it was an obligation. If you had the good fortune to do well, you had the obligation to do good. So for me, it's a natural.
You live that way.
I've tried to, Tara, as you do. It really is inspiring to see when you hear stories like that. And I think that brands are realizing that it's time to act now. I mean, there's no time to wait. The creator economy is arguably the biggest opportunity to stay relevant and drive bottom lines and results if you're affiliated with that creator community, if you're a marketer.
Yeah.
You have examples of Visa launching new initiatives for digital artists, musicians, and filmmakers to create NFTs. WPP has recently acquired an influencer marketing firm, Village, to accelerate creator economy growth. We're hoping to see brands and holding companies alike think expansively around engaging and investing in the creator economy on and off platforms to increase relevance all the way across the board. Tara, in your opinion, kind of what's the biggest thing brands should know in terms of thinking about how to properly tap into the creator economy? And I just want to, kind of throw something out there. I've been asked, obviously, many times over the last few months as to one of the primary reasons that MediaLink reimagines itself now as part of UTA, United Talent Agency. And the truth is, it was for proximity to the creator economy. I can say that as one example of a real motivational kind of move as to why I saw the right time and the right place to have MediaLink live in its new iteration.
Yeah.
And so there you go. What do you think?
Well, I love that, and it's a good example also of taking action sort of in a direction boldly, even if I imagine some of the details of how you're making the most of all of that proximity is still being worked out as you move forward, right?
17 weeks in, it's all good.
Exactly.
They're still laughing at my jokes. That's what matters.
That's good. You must have a new roster.
Exactly.
And I guess I would say this. I mean, look, there are tons of people in the audience who have a lot of expertise and experience on this. And I think as a community, we are continuing to lean in, to share, to do more. And there are, as you noted, with WPP and a number of the other sort of agencies, and as our creators shared, startup companies who are servicing brands around the creator economy. And I encourage people to take advantage of those resources. I think the biggest thing I would say is just the creators have laid out the path. I mean, you've alluded to the fact like they use data in real time. They've radically varied, adjusted, experimented with different creative formats and techniques. They know how to sort of build those authentic relationships with new generations where they are and to still not lose the old ones. And I think the more that you can lean into proximity, really, and sort of direct exposure to that, the better. Whether that's partnering with a few creators if you're just getting started, or really tapping into any of the offerings that YouTube and other players have where you can do that at scale. I think this is absolutely one of the biggest, best ways for you to continue to grow your brand and your business in a meaningful way. And creators are incredibly generous with their time and insight and commitment to that.
Well, it makes perfect sense. You know that the Netflix hit Bridgerton, which
I know Bridgerton. Do you know Bridgerton?
I know it by walking by Ronnie when she's watching it.
So I love Bridgerton, and I bet Ronnie does too. And I'm actually excited to announce, for the very first time in this room, that creator Jackie Ina is actually going to be hosting a live shopping event tomorrow on YouTube, where fans are going to have access to purchase the limited edition Pat McGrath Bridgerton makeup line. So how cool is that?
Did I get that this morning when I had hair and makeup done?
You got to wait till tomorrow.
Oh, see that?
Let's make it happen. And I will tell you, in other exciting news, we're also announcing today an exclusive partnership with Paramount to live stream the Top Gun Maverick. Yep. I'm incredibly excited both for the partnership and for the movie. I've been waiting for years, and I hear it's good. But we're going to live stream the premiere on Wednesday from the USS Midway, and we're just thrilled because, among other things, it's also going to use YouTube's brand new live redirect feature, which will route all of the audiences, should they so choose, across Paramount's 150 YouTube channels to that live event, and that's going to happen in real time for free for millions of subscribers around the world. So it's just awesome to see our brands, our creators, our platform all coming together in such special ways.
I promise you that I won't jump up and down on the couch in a tribute to Tom Cruise. I promise I won't.
And I appreciate that very much.
But I'm excited to see Maverick as well.
It's going to be awesome. And I think, again, just building off of those examples, I really just want to say on a personal note that I feel incredibly fortunate to have seen over the years how much of a difference that advertisers and agencies make when they lean in, right? You guys make all of us better. You drive better results for your business, you drive better results for our business, and you make the world better more broadly. So I just want to thank you today for fueling the streaming boom and for supporting creators, and really, as always, for your ongoing support and trust.
Well said, Tara. Now it's time for our segment, Brand New Day.
All right. Out, Robin. Thank you, crowd.
It's important to remember that you all, brands and advertisers, are the backbone of the creator economy. Let's get into a discussion now with some partners that are already seeing the value. I'd like to invite Kate, Sophie, and Sheila up to talk about how it's not only about watching, but about being part of culture.
Hi.
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 How are you?
Good. Hi. It's great to be here in person with everyone.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us. My name is Sheila Dang. I'm the media and advertising reporter at Reuters. And I'm joined here today by our panelists. We have Kate Javeri. She's the chief marketing officer at the NBA.
Thanks.
And next to me, we have Sophie Kelly. She's the senior vice president of the whiskeys portfolio at Diageo. Tara Walpert-Levy. She's the vice president of the Americas at YouTube. And then Michael Casson, who's CEO of MediaLink. So our panel is all about the rise of streaming, the boom of the creator economy, and how brands are working with creators. So we'll jump right into it. So it obviously goes without saying that the creator economy has completely exploded over the past 2 years, and it's continuing to grow. So, I wonder, what has this meant for brands over the past 2 years? And as this continues to grow, how should marketers be evolving their strategies just to keep up? And Kate, do you want to start us off?
Yeah. First of all, thanks so much for having me. It's lovely to be here on this rainy New York day. I think, when I think about the creator economy and specifically at the NBA, we have a really broad view of creators. We have some of the most well-known athletes in the world that we think about as creators. You saw Steph Curry on a previous video. And we also want to reach our fans where they are. And so that doesn't always mean with basketball content. Sometimes that means in working with the Fung brothers who have, specialize in cooking, but also have done a great job of bringing the NBA to their fans. And so we're constantly looking up and down the creator economy at unique ways to bring content to wherever our fans are. If that's short bites of content across social platforms, if that's longer content here on YouTube, we constantly are thinking about the creator economy and really trying to find new voices that are authentic and really resonate not just with the sport, but also our values.
And what about you, Sophie, at Diageo? How are you thinking about everything with the creator economy?
We're always thinking about the creator economy. I mean, I think it's kind of like the fuel to our fire. I mean, we work in the booze business. I run a lot of fantastic whiskey brands, and it's critical for us to be operating in culture in a credible and relevant way, and creators actually bring our brands into new occasions, into new environments in a relevant way that what I would say pre-planned, made-up narrative just can't achieve in the same way. So, like Kate, I mean, we're working with a whole variety of creators. I think, we were talking about streaming, and you were talking about streaming and the importance of it. I think we're living in a Wi-Fi world right now, right? So whether it's where you want to work, what you want to eat, what you want to order, what you want to stream, where you want to have content, creators are critical to connecting your brands in the right way in all of those occasions.
Right. And Tara and Michael, how are you both advising brands on keeping up with this incredible growth of creators?
So I think there's a couple of things. I mean, one, as you both alluded to, it's really about sort of being where people are, right? And again, that's whether that's on the television or on the phone, whether that's short form, live, long form, audio, et cetera. And the creators are masters at this and are a really good way to sort of just connect directly, either for depth or breadth, or ideally both. I think the other thing that I usually talk to brands about is really just, again, looking at what's happening with creators creative and what can they learn from that. Because I saw Nielsen actually just came out and said 89% of the campaign efficacy is creative, which is even higher than I think stats I've seen in the past, right? I mean, that's extraordinary. And I think if you look at what creators are doing, it still sometimes is different than the traditional production model, right? We're seeing data consistently that people are saying that production value is not what makes good content for them, right? It's about the resonance, it's about the connection, it's about the storyteller, as well as the story. And I think the way that creators, as you alluded to earlier, use data in real time, are very adaptive and flexible and agile and creative, and really understand the back and forth with their fans in a digital environment is something else that, in addition to tapping them directly, that brands can really learn from.
Yeah, what I would say, Sheila, is we've seen a phenomena at MediaLink over the last couple of years, and this is not to borrow from Mr. Beast, but you talked, Tara, about the C's and trees. At MediaLink, we talk about the T's and C's. We don't talk about them in the context of terms and conditions. I've tried to boil it down to a couple of words, And it turned out, and I was an English major, so I try to find a way to tell a story with words.
Right.
And the T's and C's really broke down into 5 words that begin with the letter T. Those words are trust, transparency, technology, talent, and transformation. And if you think of a conversation in our industry, sort of at the intersection that we all live at, which I've characterized for years as marketing, media, advertising, entertainment, and technology, at that intersection, those words that begin with the letter T really speak to what people are focused on. Where I bring in words that begin with the letter C, and it's perfect for this conversation, it's really content. Content and creativity, content and culture, content and community. If you think of all of those T's and C's, it kind of summarizes every conversation we're having, and it touches on all the things we're all talking about. That trust, that transparency, the technology, the transformation, the talent, the creators, and content being, so critical. The very first panel that I ever participated in that was relevant to this conversation happened 22 years ago at NYU, Stern School of Business, and the title of that was Content Meets Commerce. That was 22 years ago. If you think of that today, you can't be more prescient than looking at content and commerce. So I think that's really what's happened over the last couple of years, is a very, very prescriptive focus on those areas.
Well, I love that. That makes it easy to remember, just the T and C's.
Trademark it.
Yeah.
Trust,
I
baby.
What I find so exciting about the creator economy is that it encompasses such a wide variety of work. Like, we have live gamers who are live streaming. We have independent writers who are building incredible bases of readers on Substack or other platforms. So how should brands and marketers go about choosing where and who they work with, given how there's unlimitless options?
You want to start?
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, look, I think this is sort of a bit of a boring statement, but I think as brands, you need to understand what your brand stands for, who it connects with, and where it needs to show up, and be very authentic to that. I think then you need to understand how you want to ignite your purpose, and who you should bring around that, so that they can do it in a credible way. I mean, I think about brands like Crown Royal, right, where we want to stand for generosity. We have that beautiful purple bag that's a gift to everybody, and we're in the NFL. So how are we going to match the NFL with generosity? Well, we're going to turn game day into the most giving day of all. And we're going to do that with the help of people like Aaron Andrews. He's like saying, hey, here's to all the small businesses in this local town who make game day great. We're going to partner with DraftKings, and we're going to say every time you bet on your team, we're going to donate to a local bar or hospitality place that needs it in your neighborhood. So we're using creators to help us amplify the good we want to do, and connect with cultural platforms. I think, you talk about trust. I love that, and how brand marketers have to behave. I mean, I saw Lily Singh up there. She works with us on Johnny Walker. The brief was really simple. We said, Lily, get scotch into cultural moments that matter to you, with people that matter to you. Go. And she did. And we're about to win a Webby for the stuff she did, and we didn't approve it. She just went. So I think, knowing who you want to work with and trusting them and letting them drive the car and get it right within clear briefs is really critical. And short and long, I mean, you had Bridgerton up there. We do a huge integration with Tanqueray. It was beautiful. I was a bit jealous. I wanted a whiskey in there, but gin worked better for the platform and the people, and they wanted it. So you can go high, low, short, long, but it's got to be relevant to what you're trying to do as a brand.
I think, by the way, I really applaud you, because I think that letting go piece is the part that is most different, right? I think there's two parts that are different from what brands have done historically. Otherwise, a lot of what you're describing, right, values and alignment and customization, like that has happened before. The two things that are different are, one, like that trust is a very different process and a very different sort of mentality, and I think it's hard to do. I don't know if it's hard for you, but
no, I mean, there's a degree of risk with it. I mean, I've had some wins and fails, so you've got to accept the bad ones.
Well, that's right, but I do think it's one of the biggest drivers of success, right, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And I think the other aspect is simply the sheer scale, like you were alluding to, right, whether it's sort of the number of pieces of content / creators or the format. And that's where I think, we try to help by sort of taking some of the friction out of making those choices, defining those values, and enabling sort of the match to happen, right? So, we have a platform called Brand Connect. Other players have similar ones. And the goal, and largely based on your feedback, is to continually get better at just making it easy for you to apply those principles at scale. And when you marry it with the trust, good things happen.
So I think it comes back to your values. You have to start with what you believe in and what you want to support. And then if you put the fan or the consumer at the center, just by nature of where media is today, you have so many different ways to reach so many different kinds of consumers. And so for us at the NBA, we have an amazing footprint on YouTube. We have 18.4 million subscribers. We have the largest social footprint of any major league. We have a voice to our fans. But what we find with the creator economy is that co-creation. We are a content company, and we put out amazing content day after day that really resonates with our fans. But what creators are able to do is take that content, create their own voice around it, and make it relevant to their communities. And so you're reaching that scale that you talked about, Tara, time on time and time again as you tap into new communities. And we know that community around a brand or around a creator is so strong and so loyal that as you are able to tap into those communities, you can have different voices, because creators by nature are different brands themselves and have different voices. And so it just makes our brand so much more authentic and multifaceted in ways that, sitting at NBA headquarters, we may not be able to do just ourselves.
You said it really well, Kate, because authenticity, I was hoping you used that word, which you did. It ties into purpose as well. And look, Sophie, what you said is something that marketers historically couldn't do, which was kind of let it go.
Yes.
I don't want to break in with the Madonna microphone. I might start singing. It would probably be Sinatra, not Frozen. But although I could do
either. Let's see either.
But the truth is, brands traditionally wouldn't feel comfortable to kind of let it go, and yet, as long as you're comfortable with the purpose and authenticity of the particular creator, you got to go with it. I mean,
and I also think you both touched on something which I think is really important. Is as marketers, sometimes we're driven to say, oh, where is the reach in this platform? Or where is the reach in this platform? Or is this scale? Well, Lily Singh's little Instagram post was more scale to us than a number of other things, right? So small, authentic moments can be as big as massive entertainment platforms.
And the engagement. I mean, I think reach is something we talk about all the time, but time with the content and with that community, you're able to really see a different kind of engagement across YouTube, across different platforms, but with different creators, it's almost completely different that we
Well, and I think the thing I also want to applaud you, because I think the NBA does an extraordinary job, not just the creator aspect which you described, but also in how you encourage viewer engagement, right? So sort of viewers as creators, and that drives, I mean, as far as I can tell, a lot of what is really making a difference on the platform.
Another one of the phenomena that we've seen over the last few years was the kind of morphing of two forms of marketing. Traditionally, we would look at brand marketing on the one hand and performance marketing on the other hand. This we did trademark. And we learned this. We learned this originally from American Express when we were doing work with them, and I don't mind sharing this. This isn't talking out of school by any means. And the idea that Elizabeth Rutledge put forth from American Express was wanting to reimagine the marketing organization to bring the brand marketers and the performance marketers together. And that's when I did make up a word, which was brandformance. I said, what you want to do is bring the two disciplines together. And where we then saw it play out brilliantly it was with the streamers.
Yes.
So if you look at Disney Plus or HBO Max, and you realize that traditionally, again, their job was to put butts in seats on Friday, Saturday, and Sundays when they opened movies, primarily. And all of a sudden, they had to think with a subscriber acquisition hat, with a different form of marketing muscle. And you had to bring the two together because you still had to build a brand, but you needed that call to action. You needed that drive towards performance. Working with the creator economy was a long way to get there, but working with the creator economy, you're getting that call to action because of what we said, the authenticity, the creativity. It's drawing people in, the engagement. So it's really another manifestation of kind of the phenomena of how marketing is being viewed today as one straight line, brand and performance.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Everything is merging. It's not separate brand or performance, direct advertising. Yeah, that's great. I wanted to hone in on trust, since you guys touched on that earlier, but the topic of brand safety and the creator economy. We've seen this before. A creator might say something that gets them in trouble. They lose their brand partnerships. It's a risk that's always there. So I wondered, from you guys on the brand side, how do you mitigate that risk for your companies? And then Tara and Michael, how do you advise brands on navigating that?
Well, let me just answer that by saying my team puts a governor in the back of my head so I don't say crazy stuff, but maybe that works. It's like a chip. It's a chip.
That's helpful.
Like I just had a chip installed. Like, don't say that. Look, you have to make a judgment, and you have to, like anything else, you have to utilize the data, and you have to kind of see if this creator is somebody who's got that tendency. I mean, there's no magic here. The magic is, the moderation, and I will give a shout out to YouTube and Alphabet in general. And we were working together even back then when the brand safety issue became so prevalent and so important to everybody. And it's a tribute to what Google, YouTube, Alphabet has done to really do the best possible job in maintaining that brand safe atmosphere. And it was not easy, I know that, because I was on both sides of that trade, as I'm used to being on most trades. But that was a joke. You could laugh at that point. That was good. I told you I need that reinforcement. But I think it's really not holding your nose and taking a leap. You can't do that. It's utilizing the data that you have to see that this is going to be a safe place to be. Shit happens, but you have to hope at that point.
I also think it comes down to kind of a boring marketing basic, which is segmentation. Some content is going to be absolutely correct for one audience and will be way out of bounds for another audience. Totally. And so it is about segmentation and targeting, and really, I did say starting with your values, really understanding what the kind of voices are that you want to have with your brand. And you can draw bright lines around that, but you might be surprised. Some fans have opinions about sports, and they're not shy about sharing them. And so you have to let that conversation happen as part of this, but you can start with a center that is about who you're talking to, the way that you are bringing this content to life, and what your values are. Understanding that the community is dynamic by nature, and it's going to absolutely have different thoughts and different feelings. And it's really not a brand's responsibility, I think, to tell someone that they're not correct about your brand, but really more to participate in the conversation. And I do want to also just second what you said, Michael, which is like also the content platforms have done such an amazing job, in YouTube in particular, around really, really being sensitive in this area and focusing lots of resources and time in making these platforms feel so much more welcoming and safe for brands and for fans.
I love that. I want to add 2 points. I thought that was brilliant. So the power of the brief, but not a brief with the kitchen sink in it. A brief that tells you what your brand stands for, what the values are surrounding it in relation to I&D, in relation to positive drinking, in relation to the climate, and then away you go. Also, I want to say one other thing, which is, I think try not to be one and done with content creators. Like, establish a long-term relationship. Bring them into the business goals of what you're trying to achieve. Try and understand, are they in and with your brand? Are they on your agenda? Do you have any shared values? And then stick with it.
Yeah.
And run the course. Don't be like, oh, this is fun today and then this tomorrow, because then you've got a higher chance of getting it wrong, probably.
Right.
Well, and you know, look, we've just experienced this within the last couple of months, obviously. Stuff happens. You know, who would have expected, you know, the Academy Awards to be renamed Sunday Night at the Fights? Okay? But all kidding aside, you would be in an environment that you would expect would be safe, would be, and all of a sudden, we all witnessed something that nobody expected. That happens. But you know, if you're a brand and you're associated with that, you're maybe now associated with that, which you didn't want to. So you've got to just do a little bit of that, hold your nose, but if not, if you're basing it on values and experience and data.
Right. Well, I think that's all the time that we have on this panel, but thank you so much to all four of you guys for joining us and talking about how brands can participate in the creator economy. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Creators are authentic. They are connectors to vast audiences, and people are loyal to the creators that they follow.
What we're seeing now is creators who no longer have to hammer their way into some form of distribution through a studio.
My entire reason for being on YouTube was because Hollywood was very gatekeepery.
Just want to talk, just me and you, for a real quick minute.
Creators are showing us that brands need to be braver and advertising needs to be braver.
What just happened? This is going to be a fun episode.
Creators have been pushing the boundaries on the platform, and they're not afraid to try new things. The question is, are brands and marketers up for always doing that, because there is an element of the unknown? But if we all want to push this industry forward even further, that's where marketers should be focused.
All right. We told you we'd be back.
And here we are, Colin.
Here we are.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
How's everyone enjoying the show? Wow, great.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I think it's so cool. That was great to hear. I think one of the special things about NewFronts is bringing creators like us and brands together and really bringing the whole world together. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think the more that as creators we can hear from brands and really understand what they're going through, the more that we can empathize and just forge better partnerships.
So as you just saw in that video, as creators, we not only have influence, but we also have impact. So we actually want to bring up some creators and have a conversation with them to help frame what it's like to be a creator in today's world. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these creators that we have, they're at the top of their game. They've been on the platform for over 10 years. They have millions of subscribers. And like we mentioned, you know, they're not just YouTube channels. They're turning into full-blown media empires.
All right. Let's introduce our creators. Today, we're going to have Cassie Ho and Collins Key joining us. So let's check out the short video and welcome to the stage.
Hey guys, Cassie here, and I'm feeling so good and so ready. We are going to get our arms super strong. I am so excited. These stretches are meant to decompress your spine and help you reach your maximal height. That is the whole point of life.
I built the world's most insane 9-foot-tall hamster maze so Hammy can do this.
All right.
Hey.
What's happening?
Guys, we're here.
We're excited.
Man, it's great to have you guys up here. It's pretty amazing, like just really reflecting on the fact that we've all been on the platform for 10 years. We've actually crossed paths in the past, and it's cool that this is really emerging as, you know, a space that we all get to exist in and continue to grow in. And Collins, you actually started your channel in 2011.
Yep.
Today, the channel has over 23 million subscribers. pretty significant. And, and yeah, I mean, come on. 23 million subscribers, that's crazy. And almost more impressive than that, you're averaging 25 million views of video right now.
Yeah.
So with an audience that size, how do you think about leveraging that audience and partnering with brands like the ones that are in the room today?
Well, yeah, it's a great question. I think the most fun aspect that I have with partnering with brands is being able to collaborate on something together and basically being able to bring something new to the table for my audience. Because obviously, as you mentioned, I've been around since 2011. So we've done a lot of different videos, a lot of different things, but the brand coming into the picture and being able to collaborate with them is really a fun way of kind of bringing a sense of newness to what's going on. And it keeps our audience guessing of who are we going to collaborate next. And our fans also know that whenever we collaborate with a brand, we put more into that video than we normally would our regular videos. And so they know it's going to be this elevated experience. Like you saw the video where we were dumping slime. Like that video, I think that was $500,000 that we spent on that video. It has over 54 million views. Fans love that one, and they know that it's because we were able to partner with the brand that we're able to create a video that's really that much fun. So,
man, I really love that. I think that's a really important note, that the relationship that we as creators have with our audience allows us to bring them along on that journey. And when a brand joins us, it's exciting for the whole community because we get to level up. Do you have a specific example of a brand that maybe you've worked with that has kind of enabled growth for you or enabled bigger videos?
Yeah, well, I think what they were mentioning before about long-term partnerships, like that as a creator is so exciting for us because so many times it's kind of a one and done, but when we're able to build that longer partnership, we're really able to sink in with that brand and deliver results over the long term. So an example of this is Invisalign. I think it's 4 years now that we've been working with them. Wow. And the reason why they're coming back to us, not just because we're like, we picked this guy, we're going to stick with them. Like, we're continuing to deliver results. And that's really important for us is, I guess, the marketing term I've been told is like full funnel. So that's, I was like, you know the lingo, full funnel, we got KPIs, we got all this. So for us, like, I guess that idea of full funnel, we think of it as get a lot of views and then get them to click on something. Like, that's the way that we think about it. But that idea with Invisalign is like, how do we bring in a lot of views? So on our most recent campaign, we did 5 videos that I think ended up bringing in over 200 million views. So that was like top of funnel. And then our call to actions really worked. So we ended up, again, like we're one of the largest creators they've worked with. So we had very high numbers that we had to hit. And we're like, okay, you guys sure? Like, yes, these are the numbers that we need to go for. All right, so we ended up delivering over 500% of the website traffic and I think over 300% of the conversions. And, oh, thank you. Yeah, I was hyped too. I was like, what? So, and like Invisalign said, they've never seen anything like that before. And I think what we ultimately looked at was that the best part was that we had 6 months to do it, and we ended up doing it in like just 2 weeks. So that's, I think, like the power that's able to happen when you have these long-term partnerships is we know with Invisalign, like we know what's worked, what hasn't worked. We're able to shortcut that learning process and really, again, just focus on delivering the results the brand is looking for because we know them so well. So.
Yeah, I think the power there is in the brand becoming a character in the universe. Because especially if it's over, a 4-year period, they're becoming another member of that community. So that's really powerful.
Exactly, yeah.
So Cassie, for you, obviously you work with brand partners as well, but something interesting with your story is that you've built this dedicated group of over 6 million subscribers now, and you have this community that then you have used and built 2 separate brands, lifestyle and fitness brands. So how have you thought about leveraging YouTube to then build those more off-platform brands?
It's so amazing that I put up my first video in 2009, a free 10-minute full-body Pilates workout, and that helped me build this community who wanted to become part of my journey. And in my heart and soul, and ever since I was 6, I always wanted to become a fashion designer. And it's been amazing that through YouTube, I've been able to build an audience and a customer base who trusts me, because trust is really that currency in the creator economy. Yeah. And so over the past, 13 years that I've been online, I've been able to build 2 brands. One, Blogilates, which is my more affordable, approachable brand that you can buy at Target. And also my second brand, PopFlex, is more my premium technical brand. And both of those are their own 8-figure businesses. And over the past 3 years, each one has doubled sales year over year. So it's been an incredible journey.
That's amazing. I love what you said there about trust being the currency. Yeah. Something that Samir and I talk about a lot is that as creators, community is the product. Yes. Like, although we are making videos, it's about reaching a a certain type of person and making them feel a certain type of way. And I think as a creator, you have to have that emphasis on trust and on community. And that's like whether you're building your own brand or whether you're working with other brands, it's key to find those creators that have that trust.
That's right.
And you're not making content for your audience. You're actually making content with your audience, which is a really interesting experience. And one thing I wanted to say about your campaigns with Invisalign, Collins, is your brother, in one of your Invisalign ads, he opens up and is very vulnerable. Yeah. And there's a level of intimate storytelling there that's very authentic. And it's completely different from you standing up and saying, use Invisalign. It's like, it's storytelling. Yeah. And at the core of it, we are all storytellers, and that's what connects our community. And you're telling stories at a massive scale. I just wanted to dive into a bit of the process. We mentioned we started out, in a bedroom just talking to a webcam, but if you guys watch Colin's videos, you'll recognize that's not the case. So I wanted to understand a bit about the process of making one of your videos.
Yeah, well, I think, and to touch on the vulnerability side of it, that's, I think, what's so rewarding about what it is that we get to do is the relationship we get to build with the audience and with our fans, and they know our lives. They know all about us, and so when my brother opens up and shares that he's been insecure about his smile his entire life, they know that that's real. And when he shares the experience he's had with Invisalign, it's not a hard sell. He's not up there spewing off like technical jargon about this is like, no, he's sharing authentically what his story is and how he's gone about his journey and inviting the audience along and going, look, if this is something that sounds interesting to you, come along. And it sounds like a soft sell, but ultimately that's, again, like what just drove those kind of crazy numbers. And so to kind of then touch on how we go about creating content, I think a myth that is out there, which is definitely being dispelled, is the idea that all creators are just kind of this lone wolf, only them doing everything, where for us, we've really worked over the last 4 years to build up our teams. We're up to 25 full-time employees now. We've scaled to over teams of 100 based on the campaign or the production that we're doing. And like, they're rock stars. They're not like friends of ours. These are real industry professionals who are incredible at what it is that they do. And I guess the biggest thing with that is just also like a thank you to all of you for investing in the creator economy and for YouTube as well, because that's what's allowing us to create jobs, to be able to bring these projects to life. Like that video, I could have never done that video by myself, but it's because of what you guys are all doing that's giving us the opportunity to, as you guys have mentioned, like grow real businesses on this platform and be able to take on bigger and bigger projects and campaigns.
Yeah, and you're investing a lot in these videos, from staff to actually putting the production on. And we heard from the last panel, we completely agree. It's not necessarily production value that we're going after, but it's these big ideas we're trying to tackle to engage our community and to kind of give a gift to our community. Yeah. And I think that we have this back and forth relationship that feels really good.
Yeah. And Collins, you said something interesting earlier to me, where you said like the challenge as creators is that our content needs to be dependable but not predictable. Yeah. And that really is the toughest thing, especially for creators like us who've been in this for 10 years. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
And Cassie, for you, that's a challenge for you, but you also, while you're keeping up that cycle of dependable but not predictable content, you also have to have a process in place to build 2 brands. So how do you manage all of that?
It's really hard, but I've also been really lucky because as I've evolved as a human and as a business person, that first video was the fitness video, but I've been teaching people how to do crunches and, squats for so long that honestly, it doesn't feel challenging anymore. So actually, 95 challenging it creatively is what I mean, but
so
also
it feels challenging for me. Just give me a workout, I'm done.
What I'm trying to say is that my fans and myself can tell when something is no longer exciting me, right? I'm on this journey as a creator, as an entrepreneur, to do things full of passion. That's why I started. And so 95% of my day actually is in product development and design, and I don't really show that side of myself. And last summer, I made a promise to myself that I was going to begin transforming my channel to show more of that process, because that is really who I am, right? I work out every morning because I love to, but there's so much more there. And the most amazing thing is that the moment I made that commitment to myself, the moment I decided to share the design videos, the development process, those videos showed the why and the soul behind every product. And guess what? Those videos go viral on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, IG Reels, and my products sell out within a day. And I've been able to repeat that process over and over again. So it's been really cool. And again, I feel very lucky because how in the world now is the content that is doing the best for my channel getting me subscribers and also selling out my product? It's absolutely insane. But it all goes back to that intention of wanting to serve your fans, showing them the why and the purpose behind something. And that is why something sells, because they want to become part of your journey. And again, a lot of them have been following me for 13 years, and so they're proud when they see stuff like that. So I'm just so grateful for YouTube for giving me this platform to share all facets of myself. So yeah.
And real quick, can I actually touch on something you just mentioned?
Okay, yeah.
Which I love that idea that you don't have to create branded content and then the actual content the audience is going to love, or that sells product. They're not two separate things. You can do them together. I think that's a really fun thing that the fans understand is that. And I think also this is the difference between working with a celebrity versus working with a creator. When you're working with a celebrity, they're going to give you some talking points in a campaign, where when you're working with a creator, we have a media business. We are literally designing the full kind of media strategy of how we're going to do it, how the entire content strategy is going to go. And so, yes, you're getting us in the video talking and delivering about your product, but you're really hiring us to be able to figure out how we can craft this to create that emotional connection between what your brand is looking to do and our audience. And that's, I think, really what the strength of being a creator comes in, is that different facet to it. So
yeah, we think about that too, that the ad is actually the core of our business. So we should do that. That should be the best part of the video, right? Because that's our career. That's actually how we make money.
And I think, Cassie, what you said, there's a great quote from Simon Sinek where he says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
Yes.
And I think,
absolutely.
As a whole, especially in long-term brand partnerships, your audience gets to truly understand why you are partnered with them, especially if you're mission aligned. If your mission statement, your why as a creator is aligned with the brand's why, it's a really authentic story to tell. And that always comes through, and we can see it. Again, as creators, we're writers, we're also data analysts. We sat with Collins last night and talked all about YouTube data, and we're very much in the weeds of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So, as creators who have been on the platform for a decade now, what's interesting is I think when we all started, I don't think the term was creator. I don't know if there was a term for what we were doing.
It was kind of influencer, which I
influencer, YouTuber.
Yeah.
But in this moment, the creator economy is really on the rise. The terminology is there. There's, it feels like we're having a different moment right now.
Yeah.
And I'm curious your perspective on why you think that moment is right now, and what you think the future is for the creator economy.
I think the moment of creator economy is right now, because when we started 10 years ago, 13 years ago, it really was a person in a bedroom making a video, and you were people creating content. Now, people are joining the platform, seeing the success, and wanting the brand deals, wanting to have their own product lines, wanting to create services for people. And people are joining as brands, not just as people.
Yeah.
And that is monetizable. So I think that's why there's the creator economy. And again, trust is that currency. And creators have such a special relationship with their fans. And if you don't break that, then you have something so valuable, and brands are going to want to, attach onto that. Or you can create your own lines and sell it, because fans want to become part of that journey.
Yeah. Ooh, I feel passionate about this one. I think to me the reason is because of the fact that YouTube, not beating around the bush, the rev split that YouTube gives us is what allows us to build these businesses. And as a creator, it's so frustrating because I hear every platform is saying oh yeah, we support our creators, we're behind our creators, but no one's putting their money where their mouth is except for YouTube. And as again, we need that ability to be able to take this money and invest back in what it is that we're doing. And so, the point you guys made earlier of 50 million content creators, that's not just people in our bedrooms making content. Those are entrepreneurs, and so obviously we need money to be able to do what it is that we're doing and deliver more value to the platform, to the brands, to the fans. And that's what the focus is for us, is how can we put the money that we're making to work to really be able to deliver, again, an experience that's unprecedented for the fans. That video you just saw, that was a game show with a little hamster maze controlling it. It makes no sense. No executive can be yeah, that's a winner right there. But because we have the insights with our audience, we're able to look at the data and go, oh, hey, they love hamster maze content. They love our game show content. What if we bet on ourselves, spend $500,000 producing this episode, and it can pay off? That blows my mind that we even have that opportunity. And so that's to me where I think, make no mistake, YouTube is what is behind the creator economy, full stop.
Yeah,
I feel passionate about that.
Wholeheartedly agree. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that. Yeah, I think one of the interesting thing is like to refer to creators as entrepreneurs, which I think is an important thing to recognize. We've just kind of flipped entrepreneurship on its head and said, actually, we're going to build an audience first, and then we're going to solve the product or the monetization, right? That's kind of how we've done it. And that's different from traditional entrepreneurship. But just like you said, I think make no mistake, creators, we do operate like entrepreneurs, and the more creators that are in the space, the more we get to hang out, talk to each other about what's working, and grow together.
Yeah, I feel like knowledge is compounding right now.
Yeah.
Like there's no replacement for the fact that the rev split has been in existence for years.
Yeah.
Right? So you've had years to build a business, and so have other creators, and we're all learning from each other. And it's such an interesting moment where you have Mr. Beast on the cover of Rolling Stone, and they call it the creator issue. But at some point, it's not just going to be the creator issue, it's going to be every issue. Right? Because everyone who will grace the cover of Rolling Stone will have a background in YouTube and different platforms.
Yeah. This feels like a really good opportunity to ask you all to subscribe to our channels.
What do you said?
We are still creators, and we'd love some subscribers, so that would be great. Yeah. But man, Collins, Cassie, thank you so much for joining us. You guys have amazing insights. If you guys all have an opportunity to chat with them, they're very sharp creators, and we've really enjoyed our time here. So thank you guys for joining us so much. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I'm with it. Come on, let's give him a round.
There we go.
You guys did an amazing job, and I'm not just saying that because of your touting of YouTube, although I'm not going to lie, like it's rare that I'm like startled out of the like, this is the story. And
it's what it is.
That's amazing. But in all honesty, actually, the meaningful part was hearing about your world, what drives what you do, how it connects to what all of you do, and we're just really grateful for you being here and for what you all do every day.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah.
So, Michael, we heard a lot. You want to break it down? These guys are going to hear a lot all week. If they leave with nothing else, what should they take away?
Well, first of all, Colin looks just like a blueberry.
Okay. Ooh. All right, call back.
What we did hear from all the speakers this morning is that being a creator is multidimensional. Not only are you creative entrepreneurs, but you're leading media partners who have a unique pulse on culture, which translates to the bottom line for brands, and there's no doubt about that. And number two, in line with this year's NewFront theme, streaming boom is here to stay, and creators are paving the way with innovative ways and formats, and you proved that in spades this morning, so thank you.
All right, I think the last thing I would add is that you all know that telling a great story is what matters. I think creators are master storytellers in a different world, in a different environment. Many of you have already built on this, but we can all do a little bit more and really enjoy also doing well by doing good, which is what our creators do. So thank you all. Thank you to the IAB, and we are so excited for the rest of the week. For those of you watching on the live stream, thank you so much for joining, and we look forward to seeing you next year.